dial in a little bit on that, because I think reading through these letters, it reminds us as higher ed has long been kind of ground zero for contentious issues in society and has faced times of crisis, whether over free speech, civil rights, women's equality, the divestment movements around South Africa, many other issues, right, over time. And I'm curious, you know, given that I'm a trustee and was editor of the student newspaper in college when many trustees didn't like the newspaper or me, and I think that's true on many college campuses. The same folks who are trustees often were activists themselves as students, and one kind of letter refers to this. Maybe you could read from this letter from Deborah Lee, class of 1976, for example.
Yeah. Deborah Lee had a really beautiful letter, and what she says is, I thought back to my first board meeting where I pondered the fact that as a Brown trustee, I was now officially part of the establishment and not on the outside of University Hall protesting some earth-shattering issue. That revelation scared me a little. So I think whether it's phrased that way, I think whether it's David Byrne, how did I get here? I think there's another, this chapter, by the way, is called Always an Old Brown, Always a New Brown. And Always an Old Brown, Always a New Brown is a quote from a Brown trustee and a person who also was an undergraduate, by the way, who graduated in 1881. Charles Evan Hughes, class of 81. He was a trustee. He was also the governor of New York. He was also the Chief Justice of the United States. He was also the Secretary of State. He was also the losing candidate for President of the United States against Wilson, I believe. He was the Republican, lest you think that Brown was not diverse in that way. And clearly, this guy led a life of usefulness and reputation, as is our charter mandate. And yet, at that time, it was only 1881. He articulated that Brown is always old and always new. And that transition from living today, living in the past, and living for the future as an organism, as a living institution,